I understand that you want to be a pillar in your community. I understand that you want to take care of people. I understand that you want to serve. I understand that you want to give money. I understand that you want to donate. I understand that you want to invest. I understand that you want to create systems of support. If you're a mother, I understand that you want to take care of your children. If you plan on being a mother, I understand that you want to be able to take care of your children, and still, you have to come first. In today's episode, we're going to have a conversation about responsibility and why your responsibility to yourself has to come first in order for you to be the pillar of support and the leader that you want to be. So let's talk about responsibility. Right now, it's Capricorn season. We're preparing for a new moon in Capricorn. There is a Capricorn stellium in the sky. The moon is probably still in the sign of Scorpio. And all that you need to understand about all of this energy is that it's very personal to me because I have a Capricorn moon. All of these planets are right on top of my Capricorn moon right now, and the energy feels so good. Thank God. This is really a 2.5, but I am just so happy. I just love good news. I just love Capricorn season. I love when there's so much earth in the sky because everything just feels grounded. Everything just feels like, okay, I need structure. I need a plan. I need systems. I need peace. I need stability. I was working with my assistant on something, getting some stuff set up, getting prepared to, just working on stuff on the back end so we can get content going and all this stuff. And it was just a lot that was going on. It was just a lot of confusion. It was just a lot of technical difficulties. And then we find one solution and then we're working on one solution and then we start working on something else. And I'm like, whoa, why are we not working on the one solution? Why do we need this other something else? And I'm like, being challenged to be a better communicator, which makes sense because in astrology, all of this Capricorn energy is in my third house. The third house in astrology is the house of communication. So all of this energy, the challenges that are happening with the technology, is really giving me an opportunity to be a better communicator. This Capricorn energy, if you want to learn how to be a boss, now is the fucking time. Whenever there's Capricorn energy, especially with all of this Capricorn energy in the sky, Venus is in Capricorn right now. It's preparing to move into Aquarius. Like, this is the time to really start honing in and practicing what it takes and what it means to really be a boss. In previous times when I've had assistants and I've worked with other people, I kind of approached it with like this cool energy because I'm a Pisces and I'm not a regular mom. I'm a really cool mom. And that didn't work. I had a lot of experiences where things just ended up being very unprofessional, and there's a lot of reasons why that happened, like stories I was telling that I'm not supported, but also I can sit back and I can reflect and I can say, okay, one of the reasons why I had the experiences that I had with previous assistants and different things like that is because I was not showing up as a boss. I was not showing up as a leader. I was showing up as a really cool friend. Sometimes in order to be the boss and in order to be the leader, there is a different requirement that is set for you. What do I have? I'm writing. I did my morning pages as I'm going through this. Bosses, this is what I have written down. Bosses don't hold in resentments, they speak. So something happened. I'm working with my assistant. She's working on something, and then she starts doing a different thing. And I'm like, why are we doing this different thing right now? But I'm like, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be too strict. I don't want to be a hard ass. So like, whatever, just let her do that. Just take care of it. If she doesn't get that handled in a timely manner, then you can just do the thing for the day. But it's like, no, you can't do the thing for the day. Because the agreement and the entire hiring process and all of that was that somebody else is doing the thing. So you can't do the thing for the day, right? There's a task that needs to get done for the social medias. It needs to get done today. I can't do the thing for the day. She has to do the thing for the day. And it's not that she was saying that she can't do the thing. It's not that she was saying that she's not going to do the thing. It wasn't anything about her. It was just about me. And this pattern of when I feel like I can't rely on other people, I'm just like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I'll do it myself. Don't even worry about it. I'll do it all myself. And that's one of the reasons why it's been very challenging for me to get and keep assistance, because sometimes in moments of challenges, in moments of miscommunication, in moments where things start to just feel overstimulated and like it's just too much going on right now, I'm just like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I'll do everything myself because I know that I can do it in the way that it needs to get done. And it's just going to be less hassle if I just do it myself. But that's not true. It might save me time short term. It does not save me time in the long term. And I know this. The reason why I have to have assistance and I have to grow and expand my team is because it is not sustainable for me to grow and scale my business and post consistently across social media and do the stuff on the back end, the writing of the emails, the writing of the copy and the landing pages and blah, 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 and get it out to the people in the world. It's way too much fucking work for one person to do. And there are different things that I'm working on this year in 2026, not just travel, not just other YouTube channels and, growing and expanding my platforms and all of that stuff, but other things professionally. Very soon, I'm not going to have the capacity in my schedule to run my business in the way that I have been running my business. And so it's like, now is the time. You have to be supported in a next level way. And so as I'm having this exchange, I'm getting frustrated. Not particularly frustrated with her, just overstimulated with the situation. There's weird things that are going on with the social media. I don't understand what's happening, all of this stuff. And it's like we finally seem to be moving someplace. I'm finally able to figure out how to get into the specific settings so that I can do the things that need to be done. And then I'm telling her, okay, I need your email for blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, okay, well, I'm doing something else completely. And a part of me is like, okay, you know what? Just let it go. Just let her do that thing. Don't stress about it. Don't worry about it. If you need to do the post for today, do the post for today. But we just discussed that I could not do the post for the day. I cannot do the post for the day. And so I didn't want to say anything because I was avoiding that conflict, but that's not what a boss does. And so in my journal, I wrote down, there's all of this drama, and for what? Because it felt like what she was working on was not necessary. I didn't understand why she was working on what she was working on. It didn't make sense to me. So I asked, what's alive within her? I guess bosses don't hold in resentments, they speak. They express themselves and they build intimacy with their employees. I need to develop that skill as I continue building out my team. As the boss, I can't just say someone is not good at communicating. I have to foster better communication. I have to listen to understand. I have to take a deep breath and chill. Okay. So in that moment, it was a moment of conflict. It was a moment of contrast. And it actually took me deeper into my own CEO boss mode. It actually took me deeper into having even better communication skills because I asked her what was alive within her, why she was taking the specific route that she was taking, because I genuinely and authentically wanted to understand. Maybe there's something going on within this situation that I'm not seeing. Maybe she's seeing a perspective that I'm not seeing and I'm not understanding. So instead of being upset and angry and becoming resentful because I want to get things done as soon as possible and I want to move forward, I can just ask her what's alive within her so I can understand where she is and what she's doing. And maybe when I see things from her perspective and point of view, I will change my mind and I will change my perspective. She shares her perspective and her point of view with me, and then I share my perspective and point of view with her. Based on her perspective and point of view, I said, okay, keeping into consideration that you want to do XYZ different thing with XYZ different account. And I want to get this handled as cleanly and quickly and easily as possible. Why don't we follow this path that we are already going down? Why don't you use this account that you already have access to so that we can do XYZ different thing that needs to get done? And then on your own time, at a different moment in time, if you need to get access to that other account and we need to switch things around, we can do that. But right now, let's do the thing that we were already doing. Let's choose the easiest, fastest route of least resistance. And I'm like, let me know if that sounds good to you. Let me know if you disagree, if this seems unfair, blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, I understand. I agree. This is simple. This is easy. So let's do this route. Okay, perfect. So now we're moving forward. That was so good. Capricorn season and Capricorn energy is all about bossing up. Capricorn is the ultimate boss. Virgo is a wonderful leader. Virgo is the best employee. Virgo is the best to ever do it. It doesn't mean that Virgo won't rise up the ranks. It doesn't mean that Virgo won't ever be the boss. It means Virgo is an amazing, diligent worker. Capricorn is the CEO. How can I explain this? Jeff Bezos is a Capricorn. He's also a Virgo rising, but pretend he's not. Jeff Bezos is a Capricorn and Beyonce is a Virgo. When you think about Beyonce, you think about amazing, wonderful artistry. You think about somebody who is amazing at their craft. You think about somebody who is really a lifelong student, who is always getting better and better and better. And every single show is better than the last. And she really receives, criticism of her artistry in a really good way. Like in the Cowboy Carter tour, there was something going on with like the rising stage or something like that, and people actually needed to be moved closer, and she like saw a sign from a fan, and then the next show the seats or whatever ended up being closer. And I don't know if she made that change directly because of that feedback, but it would make sense if she did. Regardless, when there are changes and shifts that need to be made, Virgo, with that amazing attention to detail, is really, really good at making those changes. And then when you think about Jeff Bezos, who is the creator of Amazon, you think about how can I explain this? Jeff Bezos is maybe like in the public's perception, the face of Amazon, the person who built Amazon from the ground up. And when you think about Amazon, you don't necessarily think that they are the best to ever do it. They're just a really big, successful business. Do you know what I mean? Virgo cares more about the technique and the mastery. Capricorn is more capitalistic, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but they're just two earth signs with different strengths. And so being in Capricorn energy, this is where you're going to tap into that CEO energy, that boss energy, the energy of growing and expanding businesses, the energy maybe of working smarter, not harder. Virgo is more likely to work harder. Not that they're not willing to work smarter, but they're more inclined naturally to work harder. And that's just my 2 cents. So anyway, in alignment with this, that was kind of a 2.5. We're done talking about that now. We're having a conversation about being a pillar in your community. We're having a conversation about being able to give. And I guess it kind of aligns a little bit with what I was talking about. When you are not taken care of and you are not supported, you know how people say you can't give from an empty cup? That is really the truth. There's a difference in your perception. So, Capricorn wants to take care of other people, Virgo wants to serve other people. They're such similar energies, they're both earth signs, but there's kind of small differences between the two. They work really well together, but there's small differences between the two where Capricorn wants to take responsibility for other people. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Capricorn is the father. Father, divine masculine energy provides containment. Fathers provide support. Fathers provide, period. So there's an energy of wanting to, I'm sorry, I keep hitting my microphone with my hands. Fathers have this energy, Capricorn has this energy of wanting to provide for other people, wanting to take care of other people, having a responsibility and a duty towards other people. When I build out a business and I hire employees and I build out my team and I hire independent contractors, that is people who are relying on me. They are relying on me so that they get paid. They show up and they do their job. My job as the CEO is to make sure that the business is running profitably and efficiently so that I make enough money so that I can pay the people the money that I have agreed to pay them. That is responsibility. I am responsible for the livelihood of the people who are trusting me to take care of the business, right? When you're working in a business, you are not thinking about that business's marketing. You are thinking about what it is that you have been hired to do. Now, if you work in marketing, then you're focused on the marketing. But if you work in marketing in a business, we talked about fashion in the last episode. So let's say that you're working in like a fashion business. I don't know much about fashion business, but I'll pretend. So if you're working in marketing for a fashion business, you're not worried about how the clothes are getting made. You're not worried about production. Maybe you're working in marketing, you have an understanding of when certain things are going to be produced and what the end product is going to be. And you're focused on who the ideal customer is, and you're focused on how to communicate to the ideal customer. How are we reaching the ideal customer? What's happening across social media? What are we doing with ads? What are we doing with word of mouth? And all of these other things. That's what you're focused on if you're working in marketing. If you're working on the production side, you're maybe being employed to focus on sourcing the different garments and different things like that, and finding the best prices, and communicating with the different vendors, and where are you sourcing your pieces and your materials from. And then there's somebody else who's focused on actually getting the pieces together and making sure that things are being sewn properly and working on quality control and all of that stuff. Now, if you're working in marketing, you're not necessarily working in the quality control. And so as the boss and as the CEO of the business, or somebody in an upper level position in that business, you are the person who is holding things together. You are the person who has to be communicating across these different fields. You have to have an understanding and you have to have an awareness of what's going on in marketing, and you have to have an understanding and you have to have an awareness of what's going on in production and what's going on in quality control. So as that boss and as that CEO, you have a certain level of responsibility to your business, responsibility to your customers, responsibility to your employees. There's a responsibility there. That's Saturnian energy. That's Capricorn energy. So this Capricorn season is really always, Capricorn energy is always going to be talking about bossing up and being the CEO and creating systems, creating structures, whether that's a government structure or a business structure, where you are taking responsibility for other people, you are serving other people, you are helping other people, you are taking care of other people. So we want to take care of others, and we want to serve others, and we want to make sure that others are being supported by our work. When you are not taken care of, and when you are not supported, and when you are not okay, then you are worried and you are stressed and you are anxious. And then on top of your own stress and your own anxiety and your own worry, you also have to take responsibility for another human being. And that's when it starts to feel like the walls are closing in on you because you're not being adequately supported, and yet you're still trying to support other people. This is why in your business, you have to make enough money in order to adequately take care of yourself and have your bills paid. If you are worried about whether or not your bills will be paid, you do not have the capacity to focus on making sure that your customers and clients are getting the quality service that they need to be getting. You have to be supported. When you are not adequately supported, you are dropping the ball left and right. You're not able to adequately support others. This is what it means when people say you cannot give from an empty cup. You cannot give adequate support to others if you are not receiving adequate support. So when you're not receiving adequate support, there's going to be a lot of experiences where it's like, oh, I said that I was going to do this thing, but then I ended up not doing this thing, right? I have had this experience many times in my business, especially as I'm choosing to do more workshops and different things like that and live events. If I'm focusing on sending out emails to my email list and posting on Instagram and posting on the Instagram story, this is bleeding into my time to create PowerPoints. It's bleeding into my time to create notes. It's bleeding into my time to make sure that the journal prompts and all of these different things are taken care of for when I'm actually in session and I'm in workshops and I'm working with my clients and my customers one-on-one. You have to be adequately supported in order to ensure that quality of service to your customers. It's the same for your family. It's the same for your loved ones. When you are stressed out and you're unsupported and you're underpaid, you do not have the emotional capacity to give to your family and to give to your children what they need emotionally, what they need physically, what they need financially, so on and so forth. You have to be supported. You have to be adequately supported. When you are trying to take care of others before you take care of yourself, you are going to fail every single time. And you might not fail completely, like you don't succeed, but you're not going to create an emotionally fulfilled life for yourself. First of all, 2.5, because that's actually a really great point. You're not going to create an emotionally fulfilled life for yourself if your needs are not met and you're not taken care of, period, point blank. That was never going to happen, because your emotional fulfillment is about your emotional needs being met. Now, there can be a part of you that wants to take care of and support the needs of other people, and that can be fulfilling to you. Yes, absolutely. However, there is no person, there is no human being on earth who exists just for the sole purpose of serving someone else and making someone else happy. You have your own emotional needs. You have your own desires. You have your own dreams. You have your own aspirations. You have your own hobbies. You have your own personal interests. If your own hobbies and interests and desires and needs are not being tended to, you will never be emotionally fulfilled. This just makes fulfillment is about having your emotional needs met. If your emotional needs are not being met, you are not being emotionally fulfilled. Period. You will not be happy. You will not feel satisfied. You have to be taken care of. Creating your emotionally fulfilled life is creating a life where you are taken care of. That has to be your number one priority. You have to care about that so much. Okay, 2.5 is done. When it comes to taking care of other people, you have to be taken care of first. You have to feel safe and secure. I realized when I was working with my assistant earlier today, she's overwhelmed, she's overstimulated because of the technical difficulties and all of these different things going on. She's kind of trying to do everything that she can do, and her mind is going to one thing and to another thing and all of this stuff. And in that moment, She didn't need me to show up as a friend and say, okay, it's okay. Just do whatever you need to do. She needed me to show up as a boss and a CEO and provide very clear structure and instructions and support. That's masculine containment. Boundaries create safety and security. Because there were 2 to 3 different options in front of her, and she was kind of like pursuing multiple options, jumping from one to the next. She was going down a path that was going to lead to even more overwhelm, overstimulation, and it was going to take up more time unnecessarily. We didn't need to do that. We needed to pick one route, work on it. If that route doesn't work, then we'll cross it off the list. Then we'll move to the next option instead of pursuing a million options at once. Also, really good 2.5 for your business strategy and maybe life strategy. Playing strategy games makes you better at business. I am fucking obsessed with Sudoku right now. One of my mentors was sharing how playing strategy games made her better at business. And I think one of the games, I don't know all of the games she was talking about, but one of the games she was saying was Angry Birds, which is very funny and adorable. I did not download Angry Birds, but I did download Sudoku. I like to play a little mobile game on my phone or my iPad specifically. And I got a notification of Sudoku, and I just was like, you know what? Like, let's get into this. I used to love Sudoku, playing Sudoku on my Nintendo DS because I had the little, I don't know what that is, like the little brain games. Do you know what I'm talking about? Comment on YouTube or Spotify or send me an email if you know the game that I'm talking about. But anyway, so I used to play Sudoku all the time as a kid, and it was very fun. So I download this Sudoku game, and instantly I'm addicted because of course there's a timer to see how fast you can do the thing, and then when you complete the level it's like, wow, you're faster than 70% of players, and I'm like, fuck, that's a lot of people who are faster than me, and I'm very competitive. So it started off as me being like, I really want to get better at this. And I really want to be able to complete this Sudoku in under 5 minutes instead of 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And then as I'm completing the Sudoku faster and faster, it's like, wow, you're better than blah, blah, blah. You're in the top 10%. I'm like, yeah, I am. Of course I am. Also, I hope that they're not lying, but I don't think that they are. Whatever it is, if it's marketing, it really works on me. Because you know what? I am in the top 10%. Like, this resonates. Anyway, so I'm playing Sudoku and I'm having the time of my life. And then I get super competitive because they have this like weekly list. I played for the first week last week. There's like tiers basically. So the more that you play, the more points that you get, the higher up you are. Like the person with the most points wins basically. And they have like these different tiers. So I was on the very basic bottom tier because I just started playing. And I really wanted to be, you know, super high up. And I ended up finishing last week in 3rd place, which makes me so fucking upset. I spent the entire week going back and forth with this other person between 2nd place and 3rd fucking place, and they just got me. Sunday night I was too busy working on the Capricorn new moon fucking thing. I was too busy being employed basically to do the Sudoku. But if I had if I had spent my Sunday night before midnight, I would have finished in 2nd place. I was not going to get 1st place. The person in 1st place, they must be doing the fucking expert puzzle. Okay? Expert puzzles are whooping my ass. Anyway, did you know in Sudoku that there's like strategy? Like I was playing the basic one. Well, no, I started on the medium. And then I started getting into the hard. And then it was like, what the fuck is going on? Like the normal strategies aren't working. And then there's like XY chains and like all of these other strategies to like figuring out like how to get the fucking Sudoku, like how to crack this goddamn puzzle. And like, oh, I'm obsessed. So anyway, I'm obsessed with Sudoku right now. And I didn't think about it, but as I was dealing with this challenge with my assistant earlier today, I totally used a fucking Sudoku tactic. You have a whole bunch of options available to you. You exhaust one option, you choose one number, you get as many of those numbers on the board as you can, and then you move on to the next number. And then it's just like this cyclical thing of, okay, I'm going to do everything that I can with this number, and then I'm going to move on to the next number. And you're just crossing things off of the list. And there's a certain level of structure to it that I really love, and it's scratching a really good part of my brain. So anyway, if you want to get better in business, do Sudoku or any kind of strategy game. But I really, really, really love Sudoku, so highly recommend. I'm currently doing the hard puzzles. The expert puzzles make me want to pull the hair out of my scalp. So I will update you as I learn more strategy and hopefully get better and better. Okay, so that's about it. Stepping into that next level of your life. It's different when you're, stepping into that next level CEO energy of your life. Things are different when you're going, I have to do this. Everybody's counting on me. I have to do this because if I don't do this, then everything is going to go to shit. I have to do this because if I don't do this, then everybody's lives are going to be ruined. Everything is hanging in the balance, and I'm the only person who can keep everything together. Like, whoa, that is way too much responsibility. It feels like pressure. It feels like the walls are closing in, and your nervous system is being activated. What do we know about what happens when your nervous system is activated in that way? You stop. Sorry, my mouth just did something silly. When your nervous system is activated in that way, your brain is like, hey, fuck the prefrontal cortex. We actually need to do something to survive right now. So when your brain says fuck the prefrontal cortex, your brain is not firing in the most efficient way. Your prefrontal cortex is in charge of creative solutions, problem solving, creativity, solutions, and problem solving. When you are experiencing a challenge, you need the ability to creatively think and to problem solve. So you have to be taken care of, you have to be safe, you have to be secure. Having your bills paid every single month, that's safe and secure. Having enough money and having a strong relationship with money where you trust that people will be taken care of as you've agreed to pay them. That's safety and security. Safety and security in your relationship with money. Safety and security with your audience. Safety and security with your work. Safety and security and a confidence in your own personal value. Value of what you're offering. Value of what you bring to the table. From that place of safety and security, now your prefrontal cortex can come back online. And when challenges present themselves, you can think more critically, you can problem solve, you can think more creatively, you can think even more strategically, and the walls stop feeling like they're closing in on you, and things are able to feel more spacious. And just like we talked about in the podcast episode about holding on loosely, when things are more spacious, energy is able to flow. Not only is your prefrontal cortex able to bring you more creative solutions, but vibrationally, from that place of safety and security, that openness, you are now a vibrational match to better ideas and to more solutions, right? Okay, so that's today's episode. If you want to get into this even more and you want to capitalize on this Capricorn energy and this new moon in Capricorn energy that's coming through for us on January the 18th, you can join me for the Capricorn new moon ritual. It's a collective hoodoo working and energetic healing ritual. You're going to get an exclusive astrological breakdown of this Capricorn new moon, and you're going to leave with an understanding of how this energy is impacting you and what you can do energetically and practically to capitalize on this energy so you can step even further into that CEO energy so things can feel spacious, so you can lead instead of creating an experience where you're open to more overwhelm and challenge and difficulty. This feels like elevating into leadership, elevating into more safety and security, elevating into being supported, elevating into the story and the assumption and the expectation that the world is on your side, that you can trust the world to show up for you. You can trust money to show up for you. You can trust clients to show up for you. You can trust your employees or your independent contractors or your whatevers to show up for you. All right. Love you lots. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to join us for that collective energetic hoodoo working, you can click the link in the description box down below and secure your spot. Okay. I love you, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye.